All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we're taking a deep dive into some fascinating stuff.
Oh,
We're going
absolutely.
to be exploring the world of Adlerian psychology
Right.
based on some incredible writings
Yeah.
that, well, someone's given us.
Okay.
And, yeah, I'm really excited to unpack the wisdom of Alfred Adler,
Yeah.
a pretty intriguing figure, wouldn't you say,
Fascinating guy.
who offered a really empowering approach, I think, to happiness.
Yeah. You might be more familiar with Freud,
Right.
but Adler, a contemporary of his, really broke the mold.
Interesting.
So picture this. Vienna, late 1800s. Adler, born into a well-off Jewish family,
Okay.
faces childhood illness, becomes a doctor,
Right?
and then bam,
Yeah.
crosses paths with Freud himself.
Wow. Okay, so there's a story there.
There's a whole story there. But
But before we get into all the drama,
yes.
can you just give us a quick snapshot of what made Adler's approach so unique?
Yeah, he went on to establish individual psychology,
Right.
which is all about putting psychology into practice.
Giving people tangible tools.
Tangible tools
That they can use.
to improve their lives.
So, like, empowering people.
Empowerment was his game.
I'm all about practical advice.
Absolutely.
So basically, our deep dive today is going to be about Adler's insights
Yeah.
into living a happier, more fulfilling life.
Exactly. And a great place to start
Okay.
is with one of his most thought-provoking concepts. Teleology. Teleology.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. That sounds a bit intimidating.
I know, right?
What's the gist?
So think of it as a complete reframing of how we see the past.
Okay.
Freud, with his emphasis on causality,
Yeah.
believed that our present struggles stem from past events.
Like your classic childhood trauma shaping adult behavior.
Exactly. Classic, right? Adler flipped the script.
All right. Now you got me hooked. Tell me, how did he flip the script?
Okay, so he argued that everything we do right now
Okay.
serves a purpose.
Even if we're not fully aware of it.
Even if we're not aware of it, we
Aware.
choose our actions
Based on what we want to achieve today.
based on what we want to achieve today. In his view, the past doesn't dictate your destiny.
Wait, so you're saying I'm not just a product of my past experiences?
Yeah.
I actually have the power to change my reality, like, right now.
You got it.
Wow.
And to illustrate this, let's look at an example from the material you provided.
Okay.
Picture someone who's afraid to leave their house after being assaulted.
Okay, yeah, a very real fear.
Freud might say their fear stems from the trauma, right?
Right.
And healing requires revisiting that experience.
Okay, yeah.
But Adler would say this person is choosing to stay home
Because it feels safe.
because it feels safe, comfortable, and they're using the past assault as justification.
I see. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, the past event happened,
It happened.
but I get to choose
You get to choose.
how much power it has over me now.
It's
I'm not doomed to repeat the same patterns forever.
Not at all. It's incredibly empowering.
It is.
You're not defined by your past. You choose your present purpose. And that choice
Yeah.
has the power to change
Wow,
the entire direction of your life.
that's huge.
It is.
That's a huge mind shift.
It is.
Hold on a sec, though.
Yeah.
What about actual memories?
Oh, memories.
Surely those are set in stone.
Not necessarily.
Really?
No, Adler even believed that the way we remember things
Okay.
can change
It's based on.
based on what we achieve later on.
Whoa.
Remember that story about Einstein?
Remind me.
Not being able to build a simple stool as a child.
Oh, right.
Because he went on to become, well, Einstein.
Yeah, he kind of did it right for himself.
It's seen as a charming quirk.
Right.
But what if he hadn't achieved greatness?
Yeah.
That same memory might be interpreted as a sign
Oh, interesting.
of some deep-seated psychological issue.
Whoa, you're blowing my mind here.
I know, right? It's fascinating.
So it's not just our present actions,
Right.
but even our perception of the past
Yes.
can change depending on what we accomplish down the line.
That's the heart of Adlerian thinking.
Wow.
It's all about focusing on what you can control,
Which is,
your present moment,
Yeah.
and the direction you choose for your future.
okay, this whole teleology thing is starting to click for me.
Good, good.
It's less about dwelling on why something happened way back when,
Yeah,
and more about what am I going to do about it
exactly.
now.
Right now. Are you ready to explore another game-changing Adlerian concept?
Hit me.
This one dives into the often murky waters of relationships.
Oh, relationships.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely an area where I could use all the insight I can get.
Who couldn't?
What does Adler have to say
Oh.
about navigating those choppy seas?
Buckle up. Adler had this fascinating idea
Okay.
that all human troubles,
All troubles.
all of them, stem from our relationships with others.
Wait, all troubles, you mean like everything?
Yeah.
Even things like financial stress or like health problems? How is that possible?
Think about it.
Okay.
Even when we're dealing with things like money or health. Yeah.
Our anxieties often come from comparing ourselves to others.
Oh, right.
We stress about not having as much wealth, intelligence, or even,
Good looks.
good looks as those around us.
Right, right.
It's all relative, isn't it?
That's true. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense, though. We are social creatures after all.
We are.
I guess it is kind of natural
Sure.
to measure ourselves against others.
Totally.
But how does Adler propose we navigate those anxieties?
He offers this powerful tool called task separation.
Task separation. Okay.
It's about recognizing that every problem
Okay.
has two parts, yours and the other person's.
Okay.
You can only control your own part,
Right.
trying to control the other person's task.
Yeah.
Well, that's a recipe for conflict.
Right. Of course. Of course.
So it's about taking responsibility for your actions.
Yeah.
And letting go of the need to control what others do.
That sounds a lot easier said than done, though.
Oh, for sure.
Especially when it comes to people we're close to. Absolutely. Let's take that example you provided about the husband wanting to quit his job
Oh, yeah, that one.
to become a YouTuber,
Yeah.
much to his wife's dismay.
Oh, yeah, that one was a doozy.
Definitely some tension there.
Yeah, definitely.
How would task separation play out in that situation?
Well,
Yeah.
what would that look like?
So the husband's task is to decide whether or not to quit
Okay.
while accepting the potential consequences of that decision.
Right.
His wife's task is to decide whether to stay in the marriage
Okay.
based on her own needs and values.
Right.
Neither of them can force the other
Yeah.
to make a specific choice.
So no guilt trips like,
No,
but I did this for you.
you're right. None of that.
Blaming each other for the situation.
Exactly. Task separation encourages personal accountability.
Okay.
It's about respecting each other's freedom to choose
Yeah.
while acknowledging that those choices may affect the other person.
I can already see how this applies to my own life. I'm definitely guilty of overstepping boundaries
Oh, yeah.
and trying to control things that I have no business controlling.
Sure.
It's like a light bulb just went off.
That's the beauty of these Adlerian concepts.
Yeah.
They offer practical ways
I like that.
to approach everyday challenges.
Totally. Okay, are you ready for another mind-expanding idea?
Bring it on.
Adler's 2 for 2 so far,
All right.
so I'm definitely ready for more.
Okay. This one is called Gemeinschaftsgefühl,
Gemeinschaftsgefühl.
a German word
I was going to say.
that roughly translates to community feeling.
Gemeinschaftsgefühl. I
Gemeinschaftsgefühl.
have to practice that one.
It's a mouthful.
But seriously, what's the significance of this word?
It gets to the core of where our true worth comes from.
Okay.
Adler argued that constantly seeking validation from others
Yeah.
keeps us stuck in this never-ending cycle of
Okay.
approval seeking.
It's like needing constant praise or reassurance
Yeah.
to feel good about ourselves. Oh, man, I think we've all been there.
We have.
But Gemeinschaftsgefühl
Yes.
points to a much deeper,
Deeper.
more fulfilling desire.
It does.
The need to belong to something larger than ourselves.
Yes.
And contribute to that community.
Exactly. It's about shifting your focus
Okay.
from seeking approval to making a meaningful contribution.
So instead of constantly worrying about what others think of me,
Right.
I should focus on finding ways to be of service
Yes.
to something bigger than myself.
That's the key.
Right.
Remember the husband and wife we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
If they both approach the situation
Okay.
with Gemeinschaftsgefühl in mind,
Yeah.
they'll act in the best interest of their shared community,
Which is their marriage.
their marriage, not just from a place of individual desire.
So the husband might consider, like, the financial stability of the family
Yes.
before making a rash decision about quitting his job.
Exactly.
And the wife might consider how she can support his dreams
Yes.
while also being true to her own needs.
Precisely. It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
between individual needs and the well-being of the community you're a
Right.
part of.
It's like that balance.
It's that balance. Exactly.
Adler actually believed that all that competition we see in the world,
All of it.
it stems from insecurity.
He did.
True strength comes from knowing your worth outside of those comparisons to others.
Yes. Powerful stuff.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
But isn't it natural to want recognition for our efforts? I mean, it's nice to be appreciated.
Of course. A little appreciation never hurts. But Adler makes an important distinction here
Yeah.
between seeking approval and contributing meaningfully.
Okay.
When you're constantly seeking approval,
Yeah.
You only act when there's a chance of getting that pat on the back.
Right.
But true contributors act because they genuinely believe it's the right thing to do for the community they care about, regardless of recognition.
So it really comes down to the motivation behind the action.
The motivation, exactly.
Am I doing this to impress someone or to get something in return?
Right.
Or am I doing it because I genuinely believe it's the right thing to do for the community I'm a part of? That's a great way to check myself.
Exactly. And this leads us to another key concept in Adlerian psychology, the courage to be disliked.
No, okay, now that one sounds a bit scary.
Ooh.
I'm not sure I like the sound of that.
I know, right?
Tell me more.
It might sound daunting, I know, but it's actually incredibly freeing.
Okay.
When we prioritize the well-being of our chosen community over trying to please every single person, while some disagreements are bound to happen.
Sure.
Not everyone will be on board with our choices, and that's okay.
So it's about accepting that not everyone will like me, but knowing that's all right because I am living in alignment with my values and contributing to something I truly believe in.
You got it. And here's the thing. Other people's opinions only have power over us if we give them that power. This is where the courage to be disliked comes in.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that you are free to be your authentic self.
Yeah.
Even if it means going against the grain or facing a bit of criticism.
You know, hearing you say that really takes the pressure off.
Really?
I've spent so much time trying to please everyone, and it's exhausting.
It is. It is.
But if happiness isn't about chasing everyone's approval, then what is it about, according to Adler?
Adler believed that true happiness comes from finding fulfillment. Through contributing to something meaningful.
Right.
There's a great question he poses in the material you shared. Why do billionaires like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos keep working?
Yeah, I've often wondered that myself. They could easily retire to a private island.
I know.
And never work another day in their lives.
Exactly.
What's driving them?
Adler would argue that their community has expanded. It's no longer just about their immediate circle. It's grown to encompass society as a whole.
So it's not about the money or the status anymore.
No.
It's about the impact they're making on the world.
Exactly. And while not all of us will become billionaires, each of us has the opportunity to experience that same level of fulfillment.
How so?
We can contribute to our own chosen communities. Whether it's our family, a social group, or a cause we believe in.
It's about finding something meaningful to contribute to.
Yes.
Something that aligns with our values.
Yes.
And allows us to make a positive impact.
That's the essence of it. And the beautiful thing is, according to Adler, happiness isn't some distant destination. It's not a finish line you cross. It's a process.
It's a way of living.
It's a way of living. Every act of genuine contribution, big or small, brings a moment of happiness.
I love that.
Right.
So it's not about achieving some grand goal. But about finding joy in the everyday acts of service and contribution.
Precisely. And that's what makes Adler's idea so empowering. Happiness isn't some exclusive club with a limited number of memberships. It's accessible to everyone.
I like that.
It's about choosing to embrace your own unique way of contributing to the world around you.
Wow, we've covered so much ground in this deep dive. It's like a mini course in Adlerian psychology.
It is.
I'm feeling truly inspired.
Me too. It's amazing how relevant these concepts are.
I know, right?
Even though they were developed so long ago.
To recap what we've learned, we have the power to shape our lives by focusing on our present purpose.
Yes.
Thanks, Teleology.
Love it.
Navigate relationships with healthy boundaries. Task separation is a game changer.
Definitely.
Find true worth through contributing to our communities.
Gemeinschaftsgefühl.
Gemeinschaftsgefühl. I'm still practicing that one.
That's a mouthful.
And embrace the freedom that comes from being our authentic selves, even if it means being disliked by some.
You nailed it. Remember, it's all about empowering you to live a more fulfilling and authentic life. Adler believed that everyone has the potential for greatness.
I love that.
And it all begins with taking responsibility for your choices and actions.
What a fantastic way to wrap things up. So, for our listener who's been on this journey with us, what's one final thought you'd like to leave them with? What would Adler suggest they do with all these insightful nuggets of wisdom we've explored today?
I think he'd encourage them to reflect on what community means to them and what contributions they can make that feel genuinely meaningful.
Yeah.
It could be something small, like helping a neighbor with their groceries, or something larger, like volunteering for a cause you're passionate about.
Sure.
The important thing is to find something that resonates with your unique talents and values.
What a wonderful reminder that we all have something to offer the world. And hey, if you've enjoyed this deep dive, remember you're contributing to our community of knowledge seekers too. Until next time,